Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and talk about masculinity and men's issues. I'm your host, Brian Krall, and today we are going to be talking about the hero and the warrior and hunter archetypes in this part 6 of the Sacred Masculine Archetypes series. We're getting near the end here. I'm not going to do too many of these videos. As you can see, there are a number of archetypes. There's many different archetypes. There's going to be different common ones that every culture and its canons or mythology have, and the most popular of which I think are the heroes and the warriors, and until recent times it was also the hunter. Only since like the Industrial Revolution have hunters not sort of been grouped in with those heroic types of archetypes. So this is another archetypal male figure with much significance on the psychological, sociological, cultural, political, and philosophical or spiritual levels, showing what a sacred archetype masculinity is and always has been to basically every culture around the world. And these hero archetypes can represent things such as strength and power, protection, and male saviors who will often go as far as to martyr themselves to save others, and just for the general greater good of society in, for instance, wars with other countries. The hero represents a man who has gone on an archetypal hero's journey, as it's traditionally called in shamanism and also spoken about in, I think, Jungian psychology as well. And basically what this means is that this is a journey of trial and tribulation that is an initiation into manhood and maturity, providing a higher level of consciousness and state of being, which, is forcing the boy to grow up into a man. And the hero gains strength on this journey, which he can then use to benefit the greater good of his community. The warrior is symbolized by the same sort of journey of initiation, oftentimes called the journey of the wounded warrior in this case, where the warrior learns to heal himself and gain the strength he needs to help not only himself but others as well, so he can serve his community. And the warrior also symbolizes victory in battle. Traditionally warriors weren't these metaphorical beings alone. They also were fighting in battles for their tribe and community and culture and country and whatever it was they identified with that said this territory is ours. There was a lot more warring over smaller territories in older times than there is today. But basically, there's always wars going on. There's like never in history been a time where wars have been going on. And who does your community or culture or whatever need for you to not get overtaken by your enemies? Warriors. And so the warrior symbolizes a type of hero who can bring your community victory in battle. And usually it's the heroes that make great contributions to wars and political causes and win battles, but then are martyred, often, not always, but often martyred for these causes. They get canonized and turned into saints or deities of some sort in that culture and worshipped. Oftentimes, if you look at the different types of saints and gods and goddesses in religions that have a pantheon of different beings that they worship, the stories is all basically the hero's journey, different types of hero's journey. This one was a hunter who killed a bear. This one was a hunter who fed his village during a time of famine. Or, this one was a warrior who saved us from Vikings. Or this one was a great warrior who was a conquistador who found new lands. There's patron saints of warriors and patron saints for this and that, artists. But there's this sort of archetypal mythology going on here, where there is a hero's journey. If you're enjoying listening to what I have to say, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel I'm adding value to your life, you can also tip me at the PayPal link below in proportion to the amount of value added. Your support will help me be able to continue this work because the oppressive fascists at YouTube are against this kind of content and actively trying to suppress it. So it is only with the help of viewers like you that I'll be able to keep fighting the good fight against the evil fucking matriarchy. The hunter has to go on a similar journey to what I described for the warrior and the other hero's journey. by basically going on a hunting rite of passage, which is usually done solo. In hunting cultures, usually there's a coming of age initiation where the boy, who's been taught to hunt by his father and taught other survival skills as well, must go out and test them. They'll basically venture out into the wilderness and try to fend for themselves for a weekend or however long, and get their first big game kill on their own, which is something that needs to happen. Otherwise, they will probably die of starvation. Like I said, it's a trial and tribulation. These initiations mean that you have to face death or make some sort of personal sacrifice. There might be some pain or suffering that goes along with it. For instance, in some cases with the hunter, he could be hunting game that could also kill him, like a bear or a moose. So, it's through these rites of passage that the boy then becomes a man when he's able to, succeed, and he brings back meat for the community if he's the hunter, right? And this represents man's provision of sustenance for society, and how the survival of society depends upon him. And like I said, every culture has a mythos of masculinity surrounding these heroes' journey archetypes. Whether it's a hunter, a warrior, or a hero that did this or that, or was this type or that type. It's an archetypal story. And these heroic stories provide an example for the young, and oftentimes involve, some sort of matters of ethics and morality to help teach right versus wrong and establish a code of conduct, a code of ethics that will work as a form of moral law in society to make sure that everyone's working together peacefully towards a greater good. This is what the Bible was doing basically with all of its stories as well. Now, one interesting thing you might notice about these heroes is oftentimes they have wives and are seen as male status objects, basically representing masculinity at its best, and thus it's most sexually desirable and attractive. So these heroes are usually being depicted as being good with women or having wives and having children as well. And so this sort of imparts your family values in a culture, and it's showing that it's important that any heroic males who stand up for what is right and are fighting for any kind of cause should also be passing on this legacy to the youth. So in a sense, these kinds of cultural icons are both teachers and represent education and guidance of the new generation, as well as sexual virility and masculine creative juices necessary to give birth to new life and raise a family. And so, this is a very sacred archetype. What could be more sacred than family values, right? And the heroes who martyr themselves for others, to save others, or for causes. Think about this next time you are listening to any sort of story that might fit this mold, watching a movie. You'll find that the characters who get called heroes in movies, they're following similar archetypes. All right, so that is obviously a very important and popular one. But next, let's talk about a very popular non-human masculine archetype, which is the king of the jungle, the lion.
That concludes this video. Thanks for listening. I hope I mansplained that good enough for you. If you like what you heard, please click the like button. And if you feel you gained some value from this video and would like to give some back, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support helps fund me doing this work and fight the good fight for men like you. If you are ready to take the red pill and wake up from the matrix, well then, I have the perfect book for you. The Bible of Esoteric Knowledge is a super concise, dense, info-packed philosophy textbook, written in the same verse format as the Bible, but combining multiple different, highly esoteric philosophies such as Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, shamanism, ancient paganism, and a special balance between theoretical physics and metaphysics, along with some special bonus info on the cryptic secrets of sexuality and death. This book will stimulate your intellectual philosopher's mind like no other, especially since it's a lot shorter and easier to read than most philosophy books made up entirely of run-on sentences and never-ending paragraphs, and can be quite boring and exhaustive. Full of all the most fascinating mystical secrets of the universe, gratify your inner geek and quench your thirst for meaning with the Bible of Esoteric Knowledge. Get your copy at the link below for a special sale price today.